This video is going to go through an example calculating the coefficient of friction. A sleigh weighing 950 pounds is pulled by two horses exerting a force of 40 pounds each. We need to find mu, the coefficient of friction. In this case, we will be finding the coefficient of kinetic friction because the sleigh is already moving. First, we are going to draw a force diagram to visualize what we know and what we are trying to find. We know the weight force, which points down, is 950 pounds. Newton's third law of motion tells us that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. That means the reaction force, or normal force, opposite the weight force, is also 950 pounds, but this force is pointing up. Next, we know that the pulling force by each horse is 40 pounds. Since we have two horses, the total pulling force acting to the right in this case is equal to 80 pounds. In order to have steady motion and no acceleration, we cannot have a net force. This means that the force of friction needs to balance or be the same as the pulling force acting in the opposite direction. Therefore, our frictional force is equal to 80 pounds pointing in the opposite direction as the pulling force. Since we are assuming steady motion on a horizontal surface, our normal force is equal to the weight force, and the frictional force is equal to the pulling force. Now we can write down all of our data. We know the normal force, represented by F sub n, is equal to 950 pounds, and the frictional force, represented by F sub f, is equal to 80 pounds. We are trying to find mu, the coefficient of friction. The basic equation that involves these three quantities is the frictional force is equal to mu multiplied by the normal force. Since we are trying to find mu, we need to rearrange our basic equation into the working equation mu is equal to the frictional force divided by the normal force. Substituting in our values of 80 pounds for the frictional force and 950 pounds for the normal force, we see that mu is equal to 0.080. This concludes our coefficient of friction calculation.